Welcome back to Bearbackers, first one of the year. Looking forward to an exciting year. Some of our teams have already started their seasons. Men's and women's soccer have played already. Volleyball, cross country, football start this week. This week's schedule. Tonight, the Nathan Brown Show at Walk-Ons with Justin Akery at 7 p.m. Thursday, women's soccer plays at Arkansas State, tentatively at 4 p.m. in Jonesboro. It may change to possibly 5 p.m. Friday, the Volleyball Sugar Bears open play in a tournament at Texas A&M Commerce. They play Tarleton State at 10 a.m. and Commerce at 7 p.m. Saturday, our cross-country teams host our only home meet of the year, the UCA Bear Invitational, out at Beaver Fork Lake. I know Dr. Prince would have been tickled to death for this week because he'd love to come out there and watch. Women run at 8:30, followed by the men at 9:10. Our head coach, Josie Weaver, has recruits on campus today, so he couldn't be with us, but he will be here next week recapping the UCA Bear Invitational. Volleyball continues at Commerce that day, and 6 o'clock Saturday night in Jonesboro, football opens against the A-State Red Wolves. Sunday, women's soccer plays at Missouri State at 1 p.m. Men's team plays at Memphis at 6 p.m. So we are hitting the ground running, no doubt about it. I will start today with men's soccer. Coach Kohlenstein is traveling back with his team after yesterday's game. They played at number 15 Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We had a legitimate chance to upset the number 15 team in the country. We led 2-0 at halftime, and we ended up losing 3-2. The stats from that game are pretty remarkable. They shot 34 times. We shot 12. They had 17 shots on goal. We had 4. However, we scored on 2 of our 4 shots on goal. They scored on 3 of their 17. Our goalkeeper was Javier Ramirez. He had 14 saves. I didn't get a chance to look it up this morning, but that's got to be a school record or real close to it. So an outstanding game for him. Women's soccer team has lost their opener to Tulsa on the 16th. Then they dropped a 4-0 match to Oklahoma State yesterday afternoon in front of a great crowd out at the Bill Stevens Complex on an extremely hot afternoon, but a great turnout on Youth Soccer Day. As we said, they are at ASU on Thursday and at Missouri State in Springfield, Missouri on Sunday before hosting Little Rock next Thursday, a week from Thursday, September 5th, at the Bill Stevens Complex. Now let's hear from head coach Jeremy Bishop.
Welcome back. Great to see everybody. We always appreciate your support, and start of the fall semester is always exciting time, especially for us as we get into the season. Like Steve said, we are in it. We started practicing at the very end of July this year. Usually it's around the 1st of August, but this year we got to start a couple days before August hit. So we've been going for about a month now, a little over, I guess, right at it. But like Steve said, just got a couple games under our belt so far. Really excited about where we're at. I think we are ahead of where we were this time last year. So we're excited about the prospects of the season. Opened up with a couple of really good opponents. Oklahoma State, I think, was 17 in the country yesterday when we played them, and really played a good match against them for probably 60, 70 minutes. It was a really even game. I think they wore us down a little bit at the end. Got a couple goals late, make the score line a little lopsided, it felt, as far as the score, but the game didn't feel that way. So it felt good that we were able to go out and compete with them. And now we get into the portion of our schedule where we've got a lot of like teams. So looking forward to seeing what we can do against them. Preseason polls came out for the ASUN. They put us at 3rd, which I think makes a lot of sense. Fits where we feel like we've been the last several years. So the 3 years in the ASUN, we finished tied for 1st, 4th, and then 2nd last year. And so I feel like that preseason number 3 is pretty good. So looking forward to getting into that season in a couple months. But before that, we've got several matches to get ourselves ready for that. Talking about the preseason polls, Kelly Van Gundy, who was the midfielder of the year last year in the ASUN, was on the preseason all-conference team. She's a senior this year. We've got 8 seniors, but Kelly came back ready to play for her senior year and looking really good. There was times yesterday that looked like she was in the form she was in at the end of last season. So really looking forward to the season that she can have this year. But like I said, 8 seniors, a lot of leadership in the group. We actually did have 3 freshmen start the game yesterday, so we've got some youth that is helping us right away, which, I think that's important as well, to have leadership and have experienced seniors, players out there. But when you can have some freshmen that are new and are helping the level, that's really good for, the prospects of the season as well. So we're excited, looking forward to getting out and competing again. Steve mentioned the time for Thursday's a little bit in flux. It's supposed to be, I think, 1 million degrees on Thursday. And so they don't have lights there, so just trying to figure out the best option. We've kicked around playing earlier in the morning, but I think we're just going to push it till late. So if you're planning on watching online or getting over there, I think it's going to be at 5 o'clock, but we'll update the socials and the schedule, I'm sure, as soon as we get that squared away. So both on the road this weekend, and then we're home for 2 the next weekend. So next Thursday night we'll be at home against Little Rock. I'm sure that will be the start of the what do they call it? The I-40 showdown. Will be showdown, something. But that'll be this Thursday. So and there's the men's game that night as well. So it'll be a great opportunity to see both soccer teams. We'll be playing the late game at 8. And then we're also at home on Sunday that week against UTSA. So not home this weekend, but home next weekend for 2. Come on out, support them. We got a great group of girls that are fighting and looking forward to great things this season. So I can answer questions if you have any. All right, go Bears.
Thank you, Jeremy. Our volleyball Sugar Bears have not played an official match yet. They did have their annual Purple Gray last Thursday at Prince Center, and an exhibition match with Tulsa Saturday in Fort Smith. I'll let Coach Newberry tell you about those results, but I have a feeling he was pretty happy with Saturday's match. In a weird scheduling quirk, the Sugar Bears have 10 straight road matches to start the season. 10 straight. Play at Commerce, Texas, Fort Collins, Colorado, San Antonio, Texas, and Little Rock. 2 of those are tournaments. They finally will play at home on Friday, September 20th, when they host the Central Arkansas Invitational, our tournament at the Prince Center. Let's hear from Coach John Newberry.
All right, been looking forward to this season for quite some time. We are the biggest we've ever been. We are jumping higher than we've ever jumped. We've got more firepower just from every single angle. Since 2012, this is the most athletic team I've ever coached here at UCA for volleyball. So I'm extremely, extremely excited. We've got a lot of senior leadership. We've got a lot of underclassmen that are performing very, very well right now. Just a couple of notables. We have our very first Gatorade Player of the Year from Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's a big deal to be able to get a hold of the best volleyball player in any state, for that matter. But Reagan Harp is her name, 6'1", outside hitter. She's hard to face. You want to be on the same side of her, same side of the net. But we're very fortunate to have her. Lacey Bohannon's done very well. Also, she's from Benton, Arkansas, and has had a really, really good season last year. And then another notable person right now, we've got a 6'3" middle blocker. She's actually a sophomore, just didn't perform very well last year. This year, I have to introduce myself to her every single day. I have no idea. She's an animal right now. But having a 6'3" middle blocker touching right around 10 feet, that's a big deal for us. Doesn't take her very long to get up there. But she's a big physical force to be up there. Her attacking right now is on a different level. I don't even know what she did. I have no idea what she did over the summer. I do, but I don't know how she did with volleyball stuff. And I don't know where it came from, but it's awesome to see. But purple and gray game was okay. We had some concussion protocol stuff we had to get through with a couple of players. So it wasn't pretty the way that we saw it. We wanted to be safe on the safe side. But on Friday, this past Friday, announced our starting lineup. And kind of eye-opening for a few, and also everybody's kind of just overall excited. It's an awesome atmosphere at the moment. But when we took the starting lineup and we started up against Tulsa last year, we played Tulsa at Tulsa. They beat us in one set, 25-8. They torched us. And so knowing what we have this year, the starting lineup, they won all 3 of their sets fairly handedly. I thought we were just way more physical, faster. There were some things that I haven't ever seen our team do ever in a match that we did, and this is in my whole career. It's really, really exciting. The chemistry on the court, just the camaraderie and stuff, and then along with feeding off of the bench was also very good. But we did start our first 2 sets off with our starters, handled those pretty well, and then we mixed in a couple of different ideas with our non-starters. Lost those 2 sets. Just kind of expected how it went. We played at Fort Smith Southside High School, and it's kind of like this window right here in front of me, just this glaring in. So if you're on that side, just looking at it, it's hard to track the ball. So having these girls come off the bench and playing an hour later after their warm-up was a little tough for a few of them. But we ended up putting the starters back into the 5th set and won that 5th set. Anyway, so it was good. I expect fully this weekend for us to go 3-0. We've got Tarleton State to start off with on Friday, and then we'll play Euler on the following Saturday at the same place. So we're excited to get going with these guys. Probably our biggest notable tournament that we're going to, we are going to Colorado State. We're facing Grand Canyon University and also Colorado State, who is here. Went 5 sets with them. They've gotten bigger and better as well. I'm ready for revenge on that one, because we should have had them in the 4th set. But then also we've got Oregon to finish out. They were in the Elite 8 last year, so they've got it coming. I was talking trash to the coach while I was out recruiting. I was like, hope you're scared. I was just giving him a little, he's like, what are you talking about? So he's not really used to that, from a mid-major school coming up and talking trash to a Power 5 school, but I don't care. We're the Sugar Bears, and we're going to handle business. I can't wait. So it was good. Anyway, so I'm really, really excited about this season. We were picked 8th, I believe. Yes, and so I like that. I personally feel like this is a top 1, 2, or 3 team in our conference this year. I strongly feel that way. We stay healthy. I strongly feel that we'll be in the championship game to go to the tournament. That's how I feel about this. Strongly. Been in those scenarios before, and if I don't screw this up, then we should be there. So, anyways, but. Hope you guys are able to make it out for our first home matches, September 20th and 21st. It's a little bit of ways, but we're gonna be excited to finally be back in our home gym. So, anyways, thank you guys. Thank you all so much for your support. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears.
And we'll see you in about a month, John. Now it's time for some in-state football. Part 1, I guess. We actually have 2 in-state games this year. We have UAPB coming up in September. Bears and Red Wolves, werewolves, that's good. Bears and Red Wolves will meet at 6 p.m. Saturday in Jonesboro. It will be the 28th meeting between the teams. UCA actually leads the overall series 13, 12, and 2. We last played in 21. Ironically, that was last year we played 2 in-state teams, and ironically it was the same 2 teams, ASU and UAPB. ASU won that game 40-21. We have an exciting schedule. This year, we make our first trip to Lindenwood in St. Charles, Missouri next week. We go back to Utah on November 2nd, take on Utah Tech, about an hour south of where we were last year at Southern Utah. We have 2 old foes from previous conferences coming to Conway. Lamar from the Southland Conference comes here, and West Georgia that we competed against back in the Gulf South Conference in the D2 days. They're the newest member of the UAC. They're also coming to Conway. And we finished the season in what could be a huge showdown at Tarleton State. On November 23rd, we were picked first in the UAC preseason poll. They were picked second. So if everybody takes care of business going up till that November 23rd, that could be a heck of a game. Promises to be an exciting season. A lot of good returnees that you've heard of. Players like quarterback Will McElvain, running back Shaderick Powell, Darius Hale, safety Tamarian Wilson, defensive end, linebacker, whatever you want to call him. Everything, David Walker. I could go on and on. I'm sure Nate will. Excited to get things going on Saturday. An in-state rival, it's always fun to play in-state folks. One more reminder, the Nathan Brown Coaches Show is at 7 p.m. tonight at Walk-Ons. And a reminder, next week, Barebackers will be on Tuesday because of Labor Day. So we'll be here on Tuesday instead. Beginning his 7th season as head coach and 16th overall. Is that right? Sure. We'll go with that. Coach Nathan Brown.
A quick public service announcement. I've seen Coach Newberry's girls in the cafeteria. They're as long as he says they are. I've had conversations about a couple of them. It's a good-looking group. So y'all go out and support women's soccer, men's soccer, volleyball, track, cross country. Ought to be a lot of excitement leading into the fall. First of all, excited to get this going again. It's always good to see purple polos and purple shirts and smiles on your face because that's what gets me excited and out of bed every morning to come work at a great job. So excited just to get this 2024 season going. Similar to what the prior coaches have said, we've been here since early August practicing. Football has turned into basically a year-round thing anyways. So report day isn't quite what it used to be. You're allowed to do so much with them in June and July months. Our whole team was here in June and July. So when we turn the page to August to start real practice, it's truly college football has become a very seamless transition from off season to practice with what you're able to do and allowed to do just with meeting time and workouts and being around them. So as Steve mentioned, we've got high expectations, and with high expectations, to me, are very flattering, but also very humbling as well. At the end of the day, preseason polls and preseason, all conference lists and rankings are always a good thing for fans. Are always a good thing for mamas and daddies out there that are watching their sons' programs. But for coaches, they're nightmares, to be honest with you. But it is very flattering to be where we're at. I say this all the time. When you pick first in the conference or you pick as a top 10, 11, 12 football team as far as FCS goes, it's validation for retention, right? Retaining your players. It's validation for culture and tradition within the program. And obviously a little bit of projecting, on what the season looks like based on your scheduling. But I will say this, it's always easier at the Division I FCS level to start at the top and stay at the top. There's not as much eyes, there's not as much maybe information out there in the FCS football if you start down below the top 25, scratching and clawing your way to get back to the top. So it's a good spot to be in, but it's also there's some responsibility that comes with that. And that's our challenge. That's been our challenge all summer. That's been our challenge throughout August, fall camp, is every time we cross that parking lot to go to that practice field or we come out of that tunnel to go to the stripes to practice, are we doing it like a top 10 team? Are we conducting ourselves like a team that was picked first in the conference? Because there's a big difference between being first and being a ninth place team. There's a big difference between being a top 10 team and maybe a team that's the 40 or 50th best team in the FCS football. You've got to conduct yourself that way. There's got to be a level of expectation. There has to be a level of commitment that others don't have. And that's not easy to do for 18 to 22-year-olds on a consistent basis every single day. So we've done a great job as a coaching staff of holding our guys accountable. I think they've responded well. As Steve mentioned, because of our retention, we have a lot of experience coming back. We've got a lot of experience that played for the UAC Conference Championship the last week of the season last year that felt the sting of the 2-point loss. And that's a good thing. That to me, as you turn the page to the 2024 season to now try to push over the top in the United Athletic Conference is having those guys back, okay? I'll mention a few of them. As Steve mentioned some of them, Will McIlvain's back at quarterback. It's great retaining a starting quarterback in college football. Much less a returning starting quarterback, but a third-year starting quarterback in your system. We're excited to have Will back. I feel like he's poised to have his best year yet. He's really taken a new ownership. Not just he's always had the skill. He can make all the throws. But what I believe he's done is he's made a commitment to his football team that he hasn't done in the past. I mean, this dude sent me a video, and I'm not lying when I say this. I text a group of our guys. We call them alpha leaders. They're basically our team captains. There's 6 of them. I'll mention them right now. It's Will McIlvain, Justin Larry, starting left tackle, Demetrius Charles, all-conference linebacker, David Walker. Obviously, we know who David is. Tamarian Wilson, all-American safety, and then cornerback, all-conference caliber player T.D. Williams. So I sent out a group text on Saturday going, hey, you know, a week, this was about 8 o'clock on Saturday night. I said, a week from right now, you know, I can't wait to be going to battle with you guys. It'll be about halftime, somewhere in that range. All I get back is a picture, and Will took a picture. We had practice that morning. Will was in the indoor with a group of guys throwing at 8 o'clock at night, you know, by himself. And that just showed me the commitment that he has, not only to his craft, but this team. And it's really neat because he's bringing others with him. He's bringing young guys with him, and that's a special deal. But, yeah, it starts with Will, and then you go to the running back room, and you've got 2 of the best in the country. I think, in my opinion, the best combination of running backs in Division I FCS football, Shunderick Powell and Darius Hale. You're talking about 50-plus touchdowns over their career between the 2 of them. Both of them have there's, I believe, 4 combined 1,000-yard seasons between the 2 of them. And the beautiful part about it is they're different type backs. You got Shunderick, who's a slash and dash, quick twitch guy who can really go and hit a home run from 90 yards and can really make you miss in the open field. Then you shift the page to Darius Hale, who's 240 pounds, and you can hand the ball to him, and he can get the tough yards. They're going to be on the field a lot at the same time. I told him the other day, look, you guys have got to be in as good a shape as you've ever been in because you guys aren't going to come off the field, and that's the kind of commitment I think that those 2 have had. I think they're excited about that. But, man, we've got to run through our offense, and our team has to run through those 2 men. It has to. If we pick up the box score after the game this coming Saturday and both of them don't have 20-plus touches, shame on us. We've got to get our best players the ball, and those are 2 of our best players on our team. I can't wait to watch those guys go to work. Shift the page to offensive line. We've got 4 of our 5 starters back from the offensive line from last year. We feel like we've added a 5th piece to that. Starting center is going to be Dylan Spencer. He's a transfer. He signed with the University of Missouri out of high school. High school best friends with our starting left tackle, Justin Larry. They went to Madison Central High School in Jackson. He signed with Missouri. Justin Larry signed with us. Best friends, stayed in touch. Things didn't work out. We get Dylan Spencer on the back end. Dylan Spencer, 6'4.5", almost 6'5", 330 pounds. He's at center. Will's a small dude, but he's going to look really small behind the offensive line we have. You know, and I'll just go. We got Justin Larry's 6'3", 305. Will Diggins 6'3", 6'3.5", 330. Dylan Spencer, I just told you how big he is at center. Right guard's Jamal Mole. He's 6'5", probably 325. And then right tackle is Zach Kokenauer from the state of Minnesota. You know how they make them up there. He's probably 6'5", 6'6", 320 as well. So Will's 5'10", at best. So he's going to have to find some throwing lanes. But that's a good problem to have. Shunderick can hide behind them dudes. Darius can get behind them and really hopefully move the pile. But excited about that group of offensive linemen. They're back. Coach Boykin's done a great job recruiting that position. We've done a good job retaining those players. We've stayed fairly healthy there throughout camp with our top 7, 8, 9 guys. You got to have 8 guys, probably 9 guys at most ready to play. We feel great about that with that room. The question mark on offense for everybody is, well, what are y'all going to do at wide receiver? You don't have any catches back. And guess what? I ask the same thing every single day too. But we do have some quality talent in that room. Cam Robinson comes back. He's our returning leading receiver out of Whitehall, Arkansas. Cam Robinson's a stud. He's going to have a breakout year. He had moments last year, but he's going to be one of our main guys from the slot position. A guy named Tyon Berry's been here. He's had catches before. He's going to have a bigger role this year. Name that a lot of Conway folks know. You get excited about this dude now. Manny Smith, I'm telling you, it's his time. Now he's smaller than Will. He's probably about Luke Brown size, but you can't put your hands on him. He has had one of the best springs and fall camps that I've seen a kid have. maybe in my career. Just the trajectory he has taken, the leap he's taken, playing the position of wide receiver. Always been a twitchy guy, fast guy, all those things. But, man, he really has mastered the craft of playing wide receiver, and that's exciting to see. And then, there's various other guys that we've recruited that need to step up. Tristan Edwards, Isaiah King. There's some other guys. But then we brought in 2 transfers I want you guys to keep an eye on. Both big-time guys. Trajan Bridges, we brought him in from East Los Angeles Community College. He started out at Oklahoma, played at Oklahoma as a true freshman. He's got a chance to be a Tyler Hudson type, LaJuan Winningham type ability. He's made some plays out there on that practice field that just drops your jaw. And we haven't seen him do it on Saturdays on the stripes or in purple, but he's done it at Oklahoma in the Big 12, and he's done it out here a few times in practice where you're just like, man, that kid just made the all-bubble wrap team. Let's make sure we get him to the first game without an injury. And then the other guy is Arlie Lee. Arlie Lee, cool story about Arlie Lee is he started out at University of Arkansas Monticello, UAM. He played his first 2 years there, redshirted his first year, played last year, was the only all-conference freshman on the GAC list. So had production, all those things. Had our best recruiter when he hit the transfer portal in our locker room. His brother's Dave Walker. Works out. So Arlie Lee is Dave Walker's brother. He plays offense like Dave Walker plays defense sometimes, and it's pretty amazing. Arlie's about 6'2", 215 pounds, runs probably a 4.58, 4.56. I mean, just an amazing athlete, very good hands, and runs great routes. So I'm excited about what he's going to bring to the table as well. But there's plenty of talent in the receiver room. We'll be fine, I promise. And we've got a good quarterback to get them the football. And I'll be quick on the defense, and I'll get to any questions, and I'll talk about Arkansas State real fast. But let me just say, David Walker, Tamarian Wilson, Demetrius Charles, T.D. Williams, those 4 guys right there you can go win a lot of games with. And there's a lot of guys that have filed in behind them that are following their lead. There's not 2 better leaders, in my opinion, than David Walker and Tamarian Wilson for totally different ways. Tamarian Wilson's an edgy. He's going to get in your face. He's going to make sure you do it right. David Walker's going to love you. He's going to hug your neck. He's one of the best human beings I've ever been around, not just football players, human beings. Spent 10 days in Guatemala on another mission trip this summer. I mean, this kid's traveled the world along with being one of the best football players in the country. But we have a chance on defense to have a really special unit. Bradley Clark in the middle's got to step up for us to be big time. Jay Spanesh at linebacker has to step up for us. Dylan Williams and Dude Person at safety's got to step up and make plays. We brought in a transfer from the University of Missouri, a 6'3" corner named L.J. Hewitt. Keep an eye on him. He'll wear number 0. He's pretty special. He can really cover and run. So Coach Stacks is going to have those guys playing hard. Here's what Coach Stacks wants. You guys know he's a man of few words. He's just an old ball coach. He says, play hard and don't be soft. And that's what our defense does. Play hard and don't be soft, And so I think they obviously reflect his personality, and they do a great job of that. Special teams real fast. Jake Gaster's back at kicker. So he started the year out a little shaky. Some of it was due to snaps, holds, all that. But by the end of the year, he truly only missed 1 kick the last 9 games of the season. Very solid kicker. Has had a great offseason. Snapper's back. Kyle Gassaway. Kickoff guy Jake Ward's back. Still, Monday? Still haven't necessarily decided on a punter yet. We've got 2 very capable punters, Rhett Thurman from Cabot High School, Cabot, Arkansas, and Trace Beard, transfer from East Mississippi Community College. We signed him in December. They're both competing still for the punter job, but very talented young men. So Arkansas State, excited about the opportunity. Look, they're a returning bowl team. Went to a bowl game last year, I think the Camellia Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. I think they lost in the 4th quarter late to Northern Illinois. Coach Butch Jones is their head football coach. I think he's on year 4 or 5. But his history definitely follows him. He's a great football coach. Coach Jones has always been great to me. I know we crossed paths a lot in recruiting. We crossed paths and did we married up together a little bit in some summer camps. Always been a very gracious host, and he's always been very thankful for us to host camps. Him and his staff have a good rapport with ours, so this is going to be a fun game. Don't get me wrong, Coach Jones knows this. I'm going to go over there. I'll just about do anything to win that game on Saturday, even if him and I got to scrap it out in the middle. But look, I have the utmost respect for Coach Jones and what he's doing at Arkansas State. I think he's getting his type of players into his program, and which is following success. it starts and stops with their quarterback. You're going to see a great quarterback on Saturday. He's a reigning Sun Belt, I believe, freshman of the year. Very dual threat, talented quarterback. Makes a lot of throws, but also is very, very lethal with his feet. Can tuck the ball down, make unscripted runs within a game. We've been working hard at that in practice. Bottling up the quarterback. He's going to scramble. He's going to pull the zone read stuff. He wants to run the ball, and he's really good at it. So we've got to rally up on a defense, limit the explosive plays, and get the offense the ball back. So once again, couldn't be better scheduling for us. I mean, what a great deal to open in Jonesboro, 2 hours down the road, 6 p.m. on August 31st. We're day tripping it, so it's perfect for us. I mean, we're going to wake up. We're going to treat it almost like a home game. Come up here, do our walkthroughs, do what we normally would do on a home game, and get on that bus around midday and eat halfway there and pull up and play football. So it's a really, really good setup for our program and for our guys. And I know we're excited, like a lot of people at this point, and we're tired of hitting purple and gray. We're ready to hit red and black. And so it's time. We got 3 more prep days this week to get ready for them. We need those days. We're not ready yet. I'm ready to play, but you know how it is as a coach. You always want to make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, and we've worked every scenario and situation that could come up on Saturday. So a lot of work still to be done, but we're excited about the unit we have. I think it's going to be an exciting year. 5 opportunities guaranteed at home that we're looking forward to. Please, 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 love to have y'all out and support these guys. They put a lot of work in. Y'all have heard me say this a lot. These guys put everything they got in this. All we can do, least we can do, is support them. And that's all student athletes, not just football. So thankful for you guys. Any questions at all?
I don't remember his name, but he was a high school Arkansas player of the year at Canton.
Yeah, Zane Widener. Yep, Zane is at linebacker for us. He will be traveling Saturday. I hope to not have to play him just because he's a freshman. He's young, but very, very talented young man in our program. I'm excited about what he brings. Great kid. Yes, ma'am.
I know you said your offensive line felt confident about it. Not too long ago on Facebook, you had an ad for walk-on for offensive line. Was that a joke?
No, we just need big guys.
Did you get any?
Yeah, we did. We're in the process. Yeah. So what you do? So a lot of times we can only bring 120 guys to camp. So you got to pick your order, right? I mean, you got to pick how many you're going to have at each position. Well, once you start transitioning to game plan, you don't want your starters out there running scout team for Arkansas State, right? So we had unfortunately for us, we had a couple guys in the summer. Only one of them that we were counting on possibly being a player for us, a former starter. Fraser Rose is medically retired at right tackle. He had a heart issue and really a bad deal, but doing great now. He's set to graduate, all that stuff. He's around the program every single day. And then we had another offensive lineman that is getting back this week, but had a meniscus surgery, a freshman, or it could be a redshirt freshman. So we were kind of down some scout team guys. So we only had only brought in one walk-on offensive lineman, and most walk-ons are invited at least at our level. We don't just have open tryouts like we used to. So this was kind of a deal. We're going to shake it up, get 2 or 3 out there that we think can have a chance to play, but. No, we're in a good state. We've got 14 scholarship offensive linemen. We're in a great position there. Yes, sir.
Position-wise, what unit do you feel has made the most progression from the start of spring practice to this point?
Yeah, I would say wide receivers and defensive line. I mean, wide receivers, obviously the question mark. I talked about that. Who's going to step up? Who's going to fill the void of Gerard Barnes, Miles Butler, Christian Richmond. I mean, a really good slew of kids that have had success here. And I mentioned some names, but I think our wide receivers have really stepped up. And then I think our defensive line, because here's the question mark, who's going to replace Logan Jessup at the other side of David Walker? I mean, you're talking about one of the better defensive line careers a kid's had, at UCA maybe ever. So guys like Buck Cobbs, who had moments last year, he's a super talented young player from Jacksonville, Arkansas. Sam Horton, an Alabama kid, has stepped up. Bear Davenport has stepped up. So I think defensive line has came a long way. We had some new interior guys we brought in as well. But those are the two positions I've seen really take huge leaps that maybe didn't have the experience that the other positions had. Bobby?
Coach, I've been lucky to hear you a couple of times now, and the one staff that stands out to me, your players, every one of them looks like.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that, and that's why Arkansas State game's so important is, and for that matter, 2 in-state games is, you're right. I mean, we've got 71 in-state players on our roster. There's not another Division I school, which I know there's 4 of us in the state that's even close to that. I take great pride in protecting our state walls. I mean, we turn over rocks and stones. We've got players from all corners: McGee, Arkansas; Hoxie, Arkansas; Texarkana, Arkansas; DeWitt, Northwest Arkansas. You know what I mean? Not to mention, you know, the powerhouses in Central Arkansas. I mean, we've got kids from all over this state. That's 71 kids that may or may not have got recruited or talked to by Arkansas State, an FBS program, but probably felt like they probably should have. So this game means a lot to those young men, and so that's what makes a game like this so intriguing for not only our players and fans, but the families of our players as well. So, yeah, 71 players, and I obviously like to promote that because I'm an in-state guy. I graduated from Russellville, so I think this state is a lot better football than a lot of people give it credit for. All right, see y'all a lot this year.
How's everybody doing? Fantastic. Well, good. It's great to see everyone. Glad Bearbackers is back. So, you know, Bobby, I was waiting on that. And, you know, hey, the best part about it was when Coach Newberry was talking about 6'3", touching 10, I kind of had to snap out of it for a second. I thought he was talking about me. It's great to be here. And glad Bearbackers is back, like I said. Before we get started, I wanted to introduce Cody Reeves. Cody is our new Assistant AD for Development. Cody comes to us from Louisiana Tech University. He was most recently Assistant AD for Championship Resources there. And he's a BB native, no stranger to UCA, actually has an MBA from UCA. So we're glad to have Cody on staff. All right, so lot in Jonesboro this week. I mean, if you want to, you can go up Thursday night, watch women's soccer, stay up there the whole time, and be there Saturday for football. Bobby?
Conway will play Jonesboro High School up there.
That's right, Friday night. That's exactly right.
Wow, this is crazy.
So we're invading Jonesboro. But if you don't make the trip Thursday night and stay up there all weekend, I would encourage you to come out and watch cross country Saturday morning at Beaver Fork Lake. Be a great showing. Great to be, you know, here in Conway for that event. So have that as well. Also with the football game, I'm sure most of you are aware, and some of you probably already have tickets. But if you don't, there are still tickets through the Alumni Association's package. That includes a ticket to the tailgate as well as to the game. That is $30. Or if you just want a ticket to the game, you can contact Garrett in our ticket office, Garrett Rimmer, and that's a $20 ticket. So all the tickets are in our section. And we're looking forward to having a big crowd there. We do have a few left, so if you haven't gotten your tickets, we'd encourage you to do that this week. All right, staff, did I neglect anything? Daryl? We're good? Natalie? Retired? That's great to see you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Miss Selena, thank y'all. That's right. What about any other questions?
Go Bears.
All right, let's have a great week. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears. Bear claws up.